So with new development, if you start in Madison, the biggest development's going on the south side of the city and the north side. So on the north side, you have Cliff Farms, brought in a lot of retail, a lot of new homes, new construction homes, whether it be townhomes, single family. It's also where the new Costco is going to go. So that's become a big magnet for development in that area. South side of town, you have Town Madison, where you have the Toyota field with the Trash Pandas play ball. You have a lot of retail and housing development there as well. As you come into Huntsville, kind of think of Huntsville as like kind of 5 boroughs. You have northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, and then kind of the city center plus downtown. Over the years, developments kind of become a little bit more spread out, but it seems to be each pocket of like the city gets hit a little bit different. So like Northwest Huntsville was lagging behind in development for quite a while. The city and really a lot of private investments come into that area recently, really redeveloped a lot of the areas, brought in some nice parks. There's a lot of new home construction and a lot of businesses going that way, especially the younger businesses, because it's more affordable for them for rent. And that kind of drives more businesses to come in, because if you're working that area and you want to eat lunch or go get coffee, what have you, you need the places nearby. So that really spurs a lot of that development. We also see a lot of federal investment here. So Huntsville just went out on a really large grant. They're going to redevelop a lot of the central area of Huntsville going through that city center, and it's going to be the skybridge. So it's going to have a canal that comes through Huntsville in that area. So it's going to be more like a river walk along that. Wow. It's going to make it a lot more pedestrian friendly to get from downtown to other parts of Huntsville. When you look at it on an absolute basis, it's not really that many people each year, but on a percentage growth, it's really large. And a lot of that's due to the local leadership. They're very business friendly, as the entire state of Alabama is. When you have low taxes and you have kind of moderate incomes, a lot of places can bring jobs here, and those people can make good income, have good quality of life, and that's led to a lot of development, because it's a little bit of the chicken and the egg. You have to have enough people with enough income to want to bring the business in, but you need those businesses to entice people to move here, right? So what Huntsville's done a really good job of is bringing those businesses in, locating them near up-and-coming housing development. So like today, we sit in Mid-City, but Mid-City is not an island onto its own. It's being surrounded by new neighborhoods, new developments, and redeveloped areas, and this used to be an old rundown mall, right? So that's one of the things. Huntsville isn't necessarily like breaking ground on stuff all the time. Sometimes just redeveloping what's already there, bringing in businesses there, and that's due a lot to the local leadership. When I think of family stuff, literally this time of year, I think of indoor versus outdoor, because it's like 4 trillion degrees out by midday, right? So when I think about like things to do with the family and with kids, I kind of segregate it in 2 areas. I think indoor and outdoor, because if it's really hot during the summer, you're more looking at more indoor activities. So with that, you've got like trampoline parks, you've got indoor gyms, you've got, all kinds of stuff, art museums, children-friendly museums. So a lot of indoor air-conditioned space. And it's for a lot of places where kids can really get out and get their energy out. And then some of the museums, like if you go to the Space and Rocket Center, is a lot more hands-on. So I have a daughter that's very tactile. Space and Rocket Center is perfect for her, as are some of these gyms and other like science-focused areas, because she can touch it, mess with it, dial it, do whatever. And so for outdoor activities, you're looking at baseball, softball, basketball, football, kind of the big 3 that you think of in Alabama, but there's a lot of soccer here. And then when you have your kids playing, that's one thing. And you've got, fields all over, whether it's in Madison, Huntsville, Madison County, or even Limestone. There's these really large centers where, all the kids from those areas come play. So there's kind of city-sponsored leagues, and then there's more private leagues. That's becoming much more popular in Alabama. And these are for kids that want to develop and maybe become a high school athlete or a college athlete. It's kind of a program for them to go through there, because they get more direct coaching, they get better challenge, more competition. But of course, that's more costly, right? And sometimes you have to travel around the Southeast or even other parts of the country to really compete in those arenas. Something else too, like if you really like to be outdoors, you like sports, but it's not necessarily your kids playing it, are some of like the new Huntsville Football Club, the Trash Pandas playing at Toyota Field, and then the Huntsville Havoc playing downtown at Probst Arena. So those are kind of our 3 like minor league teams that they're all really affordable to go see, and they're in great locations. All the venues are relatively new or refurbished, so they do a really good job. And then there's actually a new football team, like American football team, that's just, they're teasing that they're coming to Huntsville right now, so we don't have a lot of info on them, but the field that they're going to be playing at was just recently redeveloped, so it kind of makes sense that, football would be going on there in the near future. Outside of that, one of the big things that's really family-friendly activity are the outdoor spaces. So when we think of this, we're thinking of hiking, biking, walking, kayaking, horseback riding. So you have pockets of that all over town. So if you get out towards Limestone, Athens area, there's some boardwalks out there that actually go through some land preserve and some wildlife preserves where you can go out. There's even bird watching towers and all that. And quite frankly, you can see alligators out there. You can do fishing, all kinds of stuff. As you move your way into Madison, there's a lot of greenways, which are flat paved areas that go through kind of natural areas. They're usually 2 or 3 miles long. There's parking at either end. Sometimes they go past horse country. Sometimes they go past neighborhoods. But a lot of times they're meandering beside like a creek. And then as you come further in, there's Rainbow Mountain where you can do a lot of hiking up there. There's parking, bathrooms, little kids playground. But there's like a waterfall at the kind of middle of that walk. So it's really nice. And you do get some gain on that. So it's a lot more of a workout than say walking on one of the greenways. And then as you get into Huntsville, you have a ton of options, right? You got greenways all over, and you have Montesano with State Park there, hiking, biking there. You drop just a little bit further down the exact same mountain. You have over 2,100 acres of a land preserve. The trails there go all over the place. As you make your way into South Huntsville, you have more and more of those type of developments. You've got Blevins Gap, where I think it's 17 miles of hiking, biking trails on either side of the highway there. And then they're about to redevelop that so that there's actually going to be a trail all the way from there down to Ditto Landing, which is the marina right on the Tennessee River. So you can hike and bike between those, which can be a really great workout.